You, Kevin. Well, there's a disease called Tay-Sachs that is killing children before they even enter kindergarten. It's a rare genetic disorder that doesn't show up at first, but when it does, its symptoms show no mercy. CN8's Gwen Owens introduces you to Dylan Manning, the only child known in our region with this disease, and she tells you how you can help find a cure. This is Dylan's story.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Little Dylan James Manning, also known as DJ, is about to celebrate his second birthday. But Dylan is nowhere close to doing what normal 2-year-olds do. Dylan has Tay-Sachs disease, an extremely rare genetic children's disorder that less than 30 kids in this country reportedly have. In every case, it's fatal.
You can't always cure people.
Dr. Mitra Asadi, a neurologist at Cooper University Hospital in Camden, New Jersey, treats Dylan. The average life expectancy for Tay-Sachs children, she says, isn't long.
Less than 3 years.
Basically, right now, he's working on borrowed time.
Sherri Manning had 3 miscarriages before DJ was born, 1 month premature. Doctors said he was fine.
He seemed to be doing everything. He played patty cake, he sat up by himself.
But those joyful developmental milestones that all parents celebrate were short-lived.
In a few months, unfortunately, they start showing signs of developmental regression.
For Dylan, that happened at 9 months of age.
We noticed that he wasn't rolling over, wasn't pulling himself up.
Doctors misdiagnosed him at first, but by 13 months of age, his parents knew something was terribly wrong.
He was not able to sit on his own anymore. He stood for a very short period of time, but was not able to sustain his own weight.
So the Mannings took Dylan from specialist to specialist, asking for answers. Finally, an ophthalmologist noticed red spots in Dylan's eyes, a key symptom of Tay-Sachs disease. Tests confirmed he had it. Some people say Tay-Sachs is a death sentence because it attacks the central nervous system, resulting in blindness, deafness, inability to swallow, mental retardation, paralysis, and ultimately death.
It was a crushing blow to me.
Brian Manning will never play football or baseball with his son, things he'd always dreamed of doing.
I'd give up my own life. I'd give as much money as there was on earth just to find a cure and to make him healthy, to enjoy the experiences in life.
Dr. Paula Leone is trying to find a cure.
There are no approved treatments for Tay-Sachs.
At Cooper University Hospital, tests on mice with Tay-Sachs, she says, are proving helpful. But she admits testing in humans is at least 2.5 years away.
Who cuts your hair, Dylan?
Time DJ can't afford, and researchers need $1.5 million to fund the project.
It's not there. The money's not there.
So the Mannings are trying to raise the necessary money. Eastside Maria's restaurant in Exton, Pennsylvania recently gave 5% of an entire day's worth of sales to the DJ Foundation.
I think when money is raised, that it creates more awareness, and people and lives can be saved through awareness.
Dylan is already losing his sight and having a tough time swallowing. Eventually, he'll need a feeding tube, but he still enjoys rides in his little red wagon.
But when we play for DJ, we play the best of all.
Balloons and swinging. Every day with him, his family says, is a miracle.
My hope is that he'll be here, living healthy and as comfortable as possible for as long as God wills it.
My fear for him, that he won't be with us for long.
I feel that Dylan's purpose on this earth was to save other children down the line.
If the cure doesn't come in Dylan's lifetime, the Mannings hope the money will eventually benefit other children.
He has blessed us in so many ways, whether he's living or with God. I'll never forget him. He's just the love of my life.
The Mannings don't keep track of the days anymore. They just seize every moment with Dylan, capturing the memories in case one day, far too soon, the angels take him to heaven. In Exton, Pennsylvania, Gwen Owens, CN8 News.
Well, you've just seen the incredible story of Dylan Manning and his life with Tay-Sachs. Dylan and his parents join us now. Welcome, Sherri. Welcome, Brian. Welcome, Dylan. I'm so happy to have you all here.
Thank you.
We're going to start off once again with just educating people about what Tay-Sachs is. Exactly what is this?
Well, Tay-Sachs is a disease that actually is a lack of an enzyme called Hex-A. Hex-A eliminates fatty buildup in the brain. And with that fatty buildup, if you don't eliminate it, it'll eventually take over your central nervous system, where he'll lose all the faculties such as walking, talking, which he's already lost a few of those, and eventually it'll take over, eyesight, hearing, things like that down the road.
This is just such a devastating disease, absolutely devastating. And heartbreaking as well. And that's one of the reasons I imagine you formed the foundation, Sherri, right?
Right. We actually established the foundation with the help of a daycare family. My mom's got a daycare. And people kept asking after the diagnosis, what do we do? What can we do to help? And at that point, we were in severe shock. So they just started raising money. And we just decided that Dylan's life had a really intense purpose in this world, and we were going to make sure that everyone knew who Dylan Manning was. So we established the Dylan James Manning Foundation for Tay-Sachs Research, which is basically threefold. The first is to educate doctors and those in the medical profession who really don't know a whole lot about what Tay-Sachs disease encompasses. You don't know the heartbreak when we go to many doctors and professionals in the area that have no idea what Tay-Sachs is and how to treat it. They just know there's no cure. And it's basically something that runs in the Ashkenazi Jew population. However, Brian and I are a conglomerate of nationalities, Jewish not being one of them. The other purposes of the foundation were for Dylan's provisions, to provide for his medical needs. Most of his equipment has been denied. Since February of this year, we're still pushing for a car seat and a stroller and a bath chair, and it's just very, very frustrating because it's an uphill battle. And lastly, it's basically to find a cure for Tay-Sachs disease, and we're trying to fund Cooper Hospital's efforts to do that right now.
Well, now, we've just gone into a lot of the medical expenses that you have, and the insurance obviously is not kicking in. So do you have any more fundraisers coming up soon that people out there can get involved in?
Well, we just celebrated Dylan's second birthday, and with that, we kind of went a little overboard. Some people may think for a second birthday party, but it was well worth it. We had a pretty successful fundraiser at the Coatesville Moose, and we had almost 400 people showing appreciation for Dylan and celebrating his birthday with us and his life here on Earth, because the lifespan is usually 2 to 5 years of age. So, as we know, 2 years old, we're working on borrowed time. And I know Brian's planning a golf outing coming up in the spring, and we're planning a cookbook. So those of you can send your recipes in for Dylan's cookbook. And we've had a beef and beer and many fundraising events. We have a car raffle coming up.
Oh, good. So you've got a lot of help out there, and we've got such a generous community.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure they will certainly kick in. Well, our prayers are with all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Thank you,
you.
Dylan. We'll be right back.